Are we ready? Okay. Colonel Carlyle Smith Harris, known as Smitty, United States Air Force fighter pilot. After the Korean War, I spent almost 6 years instructing, and then I got sent to Okinawa to an F-105 squadron. That's kind of my whole military life up till the time that I was shot down.
Just 6 days ago, the people of America were jolted by an announcement. If the American public had not known until then, they know now. The United States is indeed at war.
When we went to Okinawa, we'd been married a little over 6 years then. I was pregnant with our third.
Nearly 10 bombing missions an hour round the clock.
I knew he was totally committed and he loved and believed in what he did.
The number of U.S. planes shot down seems to grow.
But I knew this was a different kind of assignment. It worried me.
April of 1965, the Hamrong Bridge near the city of Thanhua was the target. So we flew in at 17,000 feet, peeled off. I happened to be the very first airplane, so every gun in range was headed at me. I dropped my bombs, perfect sight, perfect angle, pulled out with afterburner going, and I didn't get very far until one of the lucky gunners hit my airplane, and it was just like a rocket going off. So I ejected from it. As I was floating down in my parachute, I looked down, and to my dismay, I was over a large Vietnamese village. I was captured immediately.
My phone rang about 5 o'clock in the morning. Haven't they told you yet he's been shot down in Southeast Asia? I tried not to go to dark places.
I was put in a cell. It was impossible to escape. I had 2 to 3 interrogations per day. What airplane were you flying? What was your target? What were the capabilities of the aircraft?
I knew what Smitty's standards were, and I knew what a strong person he was. And I knew if they tortured him for something, that he would take it as best he could.
I got knocked all over the place because I wouldn't answer their questions.
Of course, I was worried about him being able to eat and get medical care.
I was so thirsty. That kind of thirst was almost disabling.
I believed that he would make it out. I knew that we would be okay. It mattered to me that he came home a whole person. But I knew if somehow time and circumstance did not favor that, we would be okay. And then sometimes you would just get a very down feeling that something wasn't right.
Months later, I saw other POWs in separate cells. The guards went through the entire camp, 1 or 2 POWs at a time, and tortured us. Tried to make us say or do something, which we evaded as best we could. We couldn't do anything about that, absolutely no control. We did, however, use tap code to communicate. I was able to teach them the tap code. It just spread like wildfire. It was just morale to be able to talk to one of our buddies, exchange ideas, talk about our families, anything. Guys would come back from a torture session, put in solitary confinement, and would hear GBU in tap code. God bless you. It really helped people to know that the guys next to them had been through that too. It just helped us resist. But some of them died in captivity.
My absolute favorite shot of the homecoming time frame. He looks so pensive, and yet he knows he's about to step out into freedom for the first time. Smitty's a very thoughtful person. There must have been a whole scenario going through his mind at the time about, what would the welcome actually be like when he went out that door. It just still gives me goosebumps.
We knew we were going home. We were elated, but There was a different society from when I was shot down until I came home. It was an amazing welcome. Everything was welcome home, and everywhere we went, the girls came squealing and hugging, and of course I hugged them back and picked them up, and I turned and Lyle was there. Of course I had never seen my son. I picked him up and hugged him. I'll never forget that.
Nor will he. It was a spectacular moment. We had time for a big old hug and a big old kiss, and it was though time had just gone away. We were together.
Colonel Carlyle Smith Harris, known as Smitty, United States Air Force fighter pilot. I was a prisoner of war in North Vietnam for just about 8 years. We are a brotherhood, and when we go to reunions, we hug each other, and it's very special because we all went through some tough times. We were just trying to live, resist, and to come home with honor. We're lucky people. Memorial Day, I think it gives some solace and encouragement to families who lost family members. Those kids did a beautiful job, and we need to memorialize all military people who didn't come home.